Good evening, Otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. Alright, so I have people asking me questions about why don't the people they talk to want to text or talk to them on the phone. Or they pretty much want to hit them up in DMs, and why aren't those people, trying to have conversations with them and stuff like that. All right, well, there are a few reasons for that. Okay, so you're making them not like you. Okay, you're like, whoa, you're mean for that. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so here's something that happened to me today. All right, so as you guys know, I'm on another site and I'm answering a whole lot of questions and that sort of thing. And that's where I get a lot of ideas for the stuff that I do on here. All right. So, something happened today where, I do follow for follow or whatever sometimes. And, this guy keeps using his keyboard and punctuation marks to make little faces, and he keeps inboxing me and making these little faces with punctuation marks. He doesn't say anything, right? So he makes these little faces and just leaves them in my inbox. Well, today I was just like, you're not going to say anything? Okay, first of all, I'm actually monetized on this site. So that means I get paid to answer those questions. All right. And, I give people straight up sick game. All right. So he's just leaving me little faces. Okay. So, I look at it. So it shows that I looked at it and then I'm ignoring it. Right. But he keeps doing it. So today I was just like, okay. And I just blocked him. All right. So here's another thing. You're hitting people up and you're just kind of, hey, what are you doing? And you're just making lame conversation. Okay? If you're a guy and you're talking to a lady, she doesn't want to stay on the phone with you or text you and get to know you that way. All right? If you're a guy, you really should just basically ask her out. Okay? You don't need to warm up by having conversation on the phone, by texting and stuff like that. You need to just straight up ask her on a date. And COVID's no excuse, pandemic, quarantine and all that, that's no excuse. You just need to ask the lady on a date. She does not want to look in her DMs and see WYD. Or you want to see her, she does not need to look in her DMs and see come through. Okay. Or can I come over? Or anything like that. She doesn't need to see any of that, okay? That is just played out. That is just wrong of you to do. She does not need you to call her up and put her in the friend zone by telling her, keeping her on the phone for an hour and telling her about your day. Okay, you guys aren't buddies, okay? You need to take her on a proper date and not chat on the phone. Okay, so if you're a lady and you have a guy who you're getting to know and he keeps you on the phone for an hour, don't ever talk to a guy for longer just than a couple minutes. Okay, just talk to him for a minute and then find an excuse to get off the phone and be like, I might be free this weekend if you want to take me somewhere. Okay, just keep dropping that on him, like let him know that he needs to take you somewhere. Okay, so because I get a lot of people asking me, hey, how come this person never will text with me and never talks to me on the phone? Okay, they want to go out on a date. All right, they want you to get to know them in the appropriate manner. Okay, so we're doing away with FWB, we're doing away with WYD, we're doing away with HLW. Okay, do you guys know about that one? I had a guy that used to put HLW in my DMs, and I said to him, stop doing that. If you want to have a conversation with me, make a conversation. Stop putting that in my DMs. That's really annoying. Okay, so don't put a wavy hand. Okay, don't do things like that in people's DMs. That's really annoying. Like, don't say what's up. If you want to talk to somebody, ask to see them in person. Okay, don't put lame stuff like that. All right, yeah, they really need to just do away with that. They need to take certain emojis off the board. Okay, because it's really irritating. When people start doing stuff like that, you may as well just block them. All right, because they just don't have any home training. All right, they don't have any manners. They they're not taking you seriously. They don't want to take you out. They don't want to get to know you properly. All right, you can drop a few hints on them that they're doing it wrong, and if they don't take the hints, just block them. All right, they're wasting your time. You need to meet people who want to take you out, want to get to know you properly, not talk to you on the phone, and be your buddy and stuff like that. They may as well just be friend zoning you. Okay, so the person wants you to get to know them properly. That's why they're not chatting on the phone. That's why they're not letting you text them and stuff like that. So if someone's doing that to you and they're not taking the hint, drop the hint on them, okay? Because that means they've dealt with too many people who let them do that, okay? Because not a lot of people know better. Not a lot of people know how to date properly, okay? So you might need to tell them they're doing it wrong, but you don't necessarily have to be rude about it, but I'm pretty direct. I'll tell people, hey, I don't want to see WYD. If you want to take me out, just ask me out. I'll just tell people that. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see HLW. Don't put that in my DMs again. I don't want to see wavy hands and stuff like that. They need, and I basically just tell people I don't like things because I'm a very straight shooter, direct person. I'm very like, this is wrong, this is right. And I just tell people I don't like things so they don't do it again. And if people do stupid stuff, I just block them. Because, I told somebody not to do HLW and they did it over and over and over and I blocked them. And, if I have to tell people not to do something, once or twice and they still do it, I just don't associate with them anymore. They're just being idiots. So I don't know what's wrong with certain people, why they don't take you seriously when you tell them not to do stuff. So even if they're just your casual friend or whatever, and people who just leave you faces in your DMs, they need to actually make conversation. Especially when I'm on that answer forum. I mean, they should say that's a very insightful answer. And if they have a real question, they need to just ask it. They need to just not leave a face. What is that? So that person wants you to ask them out. They don't want to get to know you over chat. They want you to actually, and some people will not accept a coffee date, but you can at least take them out to coffee. You can at least meet them in a public place and take them out. I mean, instead of just chat them up. It's okay to go out in public now. Okay? So ask somebody, to meet you somewhere and do something with them in person. Okay? People are just really over that whole get to know someone on the phone, get to know someone online. I mean, that's really just, it's tired and played out, and you're really, it's called low effort. Okay, so that person's really insulted when you're trying to keep them on the phone and keep them texting and stuff like that, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid spending money and investing real time in person with them. All right, and here's the thing: you can't really get to know somebody unless you're spending time with them in person, and that's a fact. You can't really, that's why long distance relationships don't work. Okay, it's because you need to be with somebody in person. You need to you can't really vibe with somebody unless you're getting to know them in person. I mean, you really need to have that eye contact. All right, you need the eye contact. You need to have physical contact. You need to be able to hold hands with somebody, hug somebody, look them in the eye, have that that physical vibing going on where you're around them in person, okay? Not on the phone, and not, you need to be able to look at somebody, okay, to see if you have true, actual chemistry, okay, because you need to physically be around them to see if you have chemistry. All right, because if you just know somebody online, or you just know somebody texting, or just hearing their voice, it is really not the same. You're not truly getting to know somebody, okay? And honestly, you could be getting catfished. You don't even know that. And even if you met them in person and you're still just knowing them on the phone and online and stuff like that, you're still really not getting to know them. You don't know somebody unless you're physically getting to know them, okay? And they're really just trying to get a false sense of getting close to you. All right, and they're really just trying to skip the necessary steps that it takes to get to know you in person, okay? So don't if somebody's, if you want to ask them, hey, why don't you talk to me, on the phone or text, that person might come out and say, because you really need to ask me out on a date. Okay, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I don't care. It's the man's job to ask the woman out on a date. Okay, women don't need to be asking guys out. Women don't need to be approaching men. All right, it's degrading. Okay, now it's okay for a woman to talk to a man. Like, I'll see, well, I'm not single anymore, but when I was, if I saw a guy I thought was cute, I would just kind of smile at him or whatever. I wouldn't go up to him and be like, hey, or anything like that, but I would just kind of smile at him. I mean, that's as much as I would do. I mean, if he wanted to approach me, that was on him, but I would just, I would encourage him, and that's all I really needed to do. And that's all you really need to do. If you think a guy is cute and you're attractive, all you really need to do is smile at him, and that is enough. Okay? Women don't need to be approaching men. And if you're a dude and you're wondering why this woman really won't stay on the phone with you or really won't text with you a whole lot, you need to ask her, like, don't you like me or whatever? She wants you to ask her out. That's what you need to do. And maybe you don't have parents that told you that's what you're supposed to be doing. Or maybe, unfortunately you grew up, in a feminist era where you think the woman needs to be direct with you and tell you what you need to be doing. Okay, we shouldn't have to be telling you that. But I mean, on my show, I guess I need to be telling you that, right? That I'm not your girlfriend. So I'll tell you that, bro. You need to ask her out. Okay, that's what you need to be doing. Women don't need to be asking you out. Women don't need to be telling you what to do. Okay, she doesn't need to be going, duh, you need to ask me out. You need to be asking her out. She shouldn't have to like make it that obvious. All right, and she's not playing hard to get. She's just not like playing into being your emotional support animal or whatever on the phone. Okay, and she's not wanting to play the YWD game, with the texting on the phone and stuff like that. And she doesn't want to come through. She doesn't want to stop at your house. She's not a hooker. You know what I'm saying? So she really just, doesn't want to be your buddy that plays video games with you. She wants you to take her on a date, okay? I'm not saying you're like a dude who's trying to do that, but I'm just saying she doesn't want to be that person. And she doesn't want to be a friends with benefits. And she doesn't want to be in a situationship. She wants you to date her properly. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do that texty thing all the time where that's your relationship. She wants you to take her out because there are a lot of places that are open right now. There's a lot to do right now. We really need to not let the pandemic scare us and make us think we can't do things right now, because there actually are things to do. Okay, and maybe we just need to be a little bit more creative. Okay, but there are a lot of things we could be doing right now. There are a lot of things you can find to do. So, and there are a lot of things open. So, if you don't know what to do, this is what you need to do. You need to text her and say, hey, so-and-so, Hope your day's going good. You know what I was thinking? If you weren't busy this weekend, we could go check out that symphony and then, go to that blah, blah, blah restaurant, that just opened up. What do you think? Or whatever. And, she's probably just totally wanting you to do that. If you know she likes a certain type of music and a certain type of food, you can like ask her beforehand or ask her friends, what type of music does she like? What type of food does she like? And then ask her to that type of music and that type of food. And like, she's probably not going to say no. I mean, if you already have her number, she probably already kind of like is interested in you, right? So then you ask her, okay, don't make silly conversations hoping that she's just going to throw you a bunch of clues and then you ask her to come over. I mean, that's kind of dumb, right? So just stop making lame conversations. Stop hoping that that you're going to get to know somebody over the phone, because that's not the way to do it. Okay, I'm really annoyed. I'm really annoyed with phones and cell phones, period. Because you think you're getting to know somebody and you're really not. All right. And another thing about it is, when you're talking on the phone, there's always someone listening in on your conversation. I know you're like, ew. Yeah, there always is somebody. Seriously. People are always like, what are they talking about? No, I mean, I couldn't talk on the phone when I was growing up. There's always somebody listening to me talking. I mean, I'd try to hide in the other room. There's always someone listening, So it's like, I learned not to talk on the phone. It's not like I like talking on the phone anyway. I really don't. But there's always someone, what are you talking about? And they'd bug me after, I heard you talking about blah, 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 So I just learned not to talk on the phone. I would just decline the call and I'll be like, I'll see you at school. I'll see you at work. I'll see you later. We'll talk about this later. Because someone was always listening. And they always repeat back to me whatever I said to that person. So people were always like up in my business. So I just learned not to talk on the phone. And that was actually a good thing, because the person would take me out and we would go like get to know each other organically and not be on the phone. And being on the phone is just like, no. And it's like I would text people and say, hey, if you want to take me out, just ask me out. Like, I'm really not a texter. For reals. Like, just do you want to meet me at the such and such? You want to take me out? Like, just ask me out. So, there it is there. That's why the person might like you. They just want you to ask them out. So, don't be heartbroken. Don't think they don't like you. Okay? They just want you to do things the right way. Okay? All right. Well, this has been Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.